Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Into the Breach, where today we are definitely putting down a custom squad victory. It's totally going to happen, and I think we're just going to go for it now. Like, I'm looking at what we have to gain from reactors, and I don't think it's very significant. I think that there's something to be said for, like, improving the health of our mechs. Two health mechs is pretty risky going into the final island, but everybody flies. Like, we're not going to get stuck in place very easily. I think we just go for it. We have a lot of good, powerful tricks. We have the force teleport and everything. We have the control mech, which of course is a tremendously powerful tool. Let's just try this. So how much movement? 3 and 3. So there's no place really that's going to be safe that isn't going to put us within reach of the stupid webs. I hate the web enemies so much. So much. I definitely don't want to... because this one webs everybody adjacent, right? Yeah, I definitely don't want to be in a position where they can web two of us at the same time. Unfortunately, there's just absolutely no way to predict what the range or behavior of these scorpions is going to be. Okay. All right. Well, so we don't actually have all that many, we don't have all that many enemy attacks that are actually hitting buildings here. If we throw a quick grid repulse up, I guess there's nowhere that the grid repulse is going to do the job by itself, or is going to solve two problems at once by itself, which is what I really want. We can obviously use some force teleports. Get some important things done. Force teleporting the two scorpions gives us a little... the scorpion attacks in all directions, though. So if we teleport it to here, it'll still damage a building. If we force teleport these two, this attack will still be hitting that building, sadly. And we have kind of a complicated squad, too, right? Like, this is definitely... we have a lot of options. We just gotta figure out what makes sense to do. Unfortunately, bombing run, not super strong right now. Like, part of me would really like to do a 3-point bombing run in this column, but it's not enough to actually get anything accomplished. Alright. What if we... so I kind of want to do a grid repulse. There isn't a place where the grid repulse does anything better than just, you know, any other tool, though. You want to try to get double value with it where you can. This attack pushes. So, is there a place where we could use a swap to cause a push that's going to break an attack? No, not really. The enemies have set up such that the answer to that question is no. Yeah, this is... how much can we actually do here? It kind of feels like the answer is actually not very much. All right, we can... I'm trying to think, if we free the control mech, where can we even, like... where could we even move an enemy where it would matter at all? Because obviously, like, one of the ways we could disable the whole problem here is control meching this thing somewhere else. But I would much rather have the control mech actually be able to move. The fact that this thing goes before either of the beetles means that we can't, there's no way to like reposition one of the beetles and have it do anything of value here at all. We could reposition this beetle to there, have it attack this one, because the beetle attack pushes when it hits, right? Yeah. So it would push this beetle to here, which means that would completely solve this. Do you have the movement to do that if we got you free? No, you do not. Never mind. If we put the scorpion leader 1, 2, 3, 4. I have full movement on this, don't I? Okay. If we put the scorpion leader here, and then we did a grid shield on this tile, the scorpion leader would do a bunch of damage to this thing, pushing it over to here, would push the scorpion off of the pylon entirely, which is cool, and then would just absorb the shield, right? The problem with that is that's like it's a big complicated maneuver that leaves this thing attacking the shield and this thing attacking that pylon and the control mech in place to die. I could solve one of those problems by like swapping the drill mech and this thing, but like, I guess there's no point in doing the grid defense then. No, there is. If this pylon gets destroyed before this thing's turn, it will simply run forward and destroy the other pylon. We would lose even more power. So we could get this down to 2 damage, and we could get a bunch of enemies injured, but nothing would be dead, and we're not blocking the spawn. So we would be facing 7 enemies, most of whom are not realistically killable next turn. That's probably not a good enough setup. I don't think there's any enemy where force swapping the scorpion leader onto them actually helps the situation at all. Right? Pushing this thing from that position still causes it to destroy that pylon. Pushing it from this position is obviously terrible. Pushing this beetle from this position doesn't do anything. Yeah, this is maybe one of the most damaging enemy setups we've ever seen. Like, there are no good answers here. Okay, what if instead of force swapping somebody, we did a seismic capacitor? Is there any place where turning someone around is really meaningful? No, not at all. Again, we could turn this beetle around, but it doesn't affect, yeah, we can make it charge another bug, but it doesn't actually affect the building damage very much. And there are so many places where things would be different if the enemies weren't in exactly the order they are in. What if... I mean, is there a way to use the damage? Could we get a couple of kills that would help things out very much? What if we could kill these 2? We just don't have the damage. All right, I really, really, really don't see a better play. We can't block anything in any meaningful way. All right, I think we're just gonna do it then. Swap you to here. Move up and force change you two. It's not ideal, is it? No, what am I talking about? I should force change you and... Swapping with you doesn't really, like... It saves this, but this is already saved. Yeah, and the part of the point of the swap is removing this guy, right? Yeah, this... I guess if I'm gonna take 2 damage anyway, no matter what... It should be more like... No, I think this is right. If we swap this beetle up here so that it gets shot, it ends up charging and hitting a second pylon anyway. I'm pretty sure this is like actually the only way where... Oh, sorry. Wrong weapon. This is actually the only way where we only take 2 grid damage, as sad as that is. And it does do a fair amount of damage to some of the enemies. Right? Like that's something. Okay, the good news is I don't think this guy can get into a position to actually do any damage. Alright, so you're dead already. We could just kill you with actual damage. Yeah, like I could just run a bombing run here. And clear these 2 enemies out. So what do we actually need to deal with? You and both of you. Which we can't, yeah, which we cannot do, of course. Because it's never not a nightmare. And there's no way to use control to stop 2 of them at once. Oh, there might be a way to use the force teleport, though. Yeah, if I just swap them, that does a good enough job. Okay, so yeah, I don't think we don't have to get terribly clever with this. You're going to... Yeah, I guess we just kill it, right? I just move it onto a fire space. And then you fire a bombing run. There we go. That's fine. Felt pretty messy, but I did not feel in control of the first turn of this battle, and it got me all tilting. But we're doing all right. We are objectively doing all right. Okay, so that thing's actually dead already. It would be really cool if we could block some spawns here. But we can't. Yeah. Alright, a thing I can do. We could use this to free the drill mech. do we want to... It doesn't really matter who gets the block. You could warp this stone with somebody. Does that make sense? Is that valuable to do? I guess if I hadn't put you right here, warping the beetle to... Am I allowed to use this on the stone? I am allowed to use this on the stone. Okay. Yeah, if I hadn't parked this unit right here, if I'd been thinking ahead a little bit more, we could have swapped the beetle to this position so that it runs into the lava over here. That might be worth resetting turn for, honestly. Yeah, this is fine, right? And then that means you can spawn block and just repair self. Or is there a spot? You know what it might be? What might be better to do is like spawn block here and throw a... I'm not allowed to throw this shield thing adjacent to myself, am I? No, I am not. Shit. Well, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just repair wherever I land. This'll be fine then. I was trying to figure out a way to do that where I could also throw a shield over something and use the shield to prevent the 1 point of damage. Okay, but this way we still only have 3 enemies up. The odds of us being unable to solve the problems are basically nil. Okay. So... is there... I mean, there's not really a reason even to get very fancy with this, right? Only one of our pilots needs experience, and she needs an amount that we definitely can never get, so... yeah, this is good enough. We'll just place you here. And then... is anybody low enough to die? Nope. Okay, I think we're good. We'll just hit end turn. Alright, so... I don't love going down into the second part without full health, obviously. But also, I don't know what I would have done to get us any better off than 2 power loss on that first turn. Or at least 1 hit on that first turn. We could have gotten lucky and gotten the grid defense, obviously. Okay, so Alpha Digger and Alpha Blobber. Pretty bad news. At least the force swap does give us a way of dealing with the Digger. Alright, this is gonna be ugly. Okay, that's pretty good for us from the Digger. That's like a complete non-concern. Does the Digger's attack doesn't push, right? No, okay. Interesting. So, I mean, like, I don't hate a bombing run on this axis. Try to soften this thing up. We have currently... There's actually only 4 attacks on buildings right now. And there are places where I can stop 2 of them with a swap, right? No, actually. The way the enemies are positioned and attacking, the answer is no. Oh, sorry, the Hornet's not attacking this at all. So I could swap you and you. Yeah, that would be fine. You'd be attacking this space then. Yeah, okay, so we totally can stop 2, There are places where we can stop 2 attacks with a single move. So, like, it feels to me like I want to I think I want to do that port. Right, just trade these two. We can just let the bomb take two. That's not the end of the world. I can just put the Firefly leader on this, which might be good. Alternatively, like putting the Alpha Blobber in front of the Firefly leader would also be really nice. That would be... Yeah. We're gonna need... We have to deal with this somehow. That could be solved with a grid pulse. I would prefer to solve that with a grid pulse, if possible, because that solves the problem and also leaves a point of shielding up. And then, yeah, maybe we just... There's not actually a place that I can hit the Alpha Blobber with the control thing, though. Yeah, that's a shame. Alright. That's fine. We'll just kill the Firefly leader. And... Right, I think I would rather do... Yeah, I think I would rather do the pulse. So I think I'm just going to throw her over here. Yeah, that seems right. The bomb takes 2 damage, but that's, like, very manageable. And, you know, there's something to be said for putting all of the tentacle spaces adjacent to pylons. We might be able to make something out of that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places where pylons are in danger. Does not feel particularly fixable, frankly. What can we do? So obviously, the force swap is going to be really important. This isn't really a big hit. So I'm thinking like a force swap with U and U does save us 3 pylon damage. I don't exactly know how I'm going to deal with that, though. The fact that it hits in all directions does make things a little awkward. So I can't use the control mech to make the Hornet hit this thing. Both because of timing and because of the fact that the only tile I can control the Hornet from is here. Yeah, actually dealing with the digger is really non-trivial. By which I think I mean literally impossible. So we don't have to deal with the Alpha Scarab. We can just ignore the Alpha Scarab. I can move this thing to a position where it's not hitting buildings. I just can't put it in a position where it's doing anything useful. It's pretty easy to fix 4 of these and then just let this thing have its hit. If I can create a situation where... I can't, though. I was going to say, if I can create a situation where it makes sense to just, like, throw some shielding on these with the shield projector, that would be fine, but, like, we're not going to be able to get any double value off of that because the Alpha Hornet is effectively hitting... This area is taking 3 attacks. Shielding both of them doesn't solve the problem. Stupid hornets. Also, thing that is a significant problem that I just realized, Bethany's grid pulse doesn't save us anywhere this turn. Bethany kind of doesn't have a play. We could use the bombs to obliterate some of the rocks, which might enable some maneuvers that are not otherwise available. But like nothing around here has low enough health to die. So if I were to drop the bombing runs, say on this axis, we clear that out. Well, no, never mind. I was going to say, and then we could use the control mech to control the digger away, but we can't because the control mech would have to be here. The bombing run would have to happen on this axis for that to work, because we have to open up two sides of the digger's space, which we cannot do. If I run the control mech all the way over here and control mech this thing off, I can at least run it onto a space where it will die. You know, that's something. If I do a grid repulse here, it does at the very least cause the alpha blobber to block a spawn while preventing some damage. And then we just let this happen. Oh, and also this. Also, we're letting that happen. Shit. Yeah, there's too damn much. A grid defense here does solve one of the problems, as well as it deals a small amount of damage to some enemies. So we do a grid repulse here, pushing that off. Then we solve this and that, and we just let the digger get its shot in, and we take 3 grid damage that we can't stop in any way, I think. Pretty sure that's right, unfortunately. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel like it must be the case. Okay, I could swap the... Okay, we want to swap the Hornet. And we have to swap it with this thing. That's the only way to... Yeah, it's the only way to solve that. So that gets us 3 damage saved. Then this grid repulse becomes actually meaningful because now there is only one attack happening here. Yeah, but I don't want to do it from there, right? Because I would like to have this unit move the Alpha Scorpion to here, which means I need that space to be unfilled, but I also need this space to be unfilled. So, do I just sacrifice my shield? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so that gets us a spawn block. We do this. Now we're only taking 2 grid damage. And also, an enemy is dying, and also we're blocking a spawn. Still pretty bad, though. I could really use a grid defense here. Of course not. Alright, well, we can ignore that. That we cannot ignore. Right, the bomb only has 2 HP. Yeah, this we can ignore. So you have to get dealt with somehow. It's probably a force swap. It's likely a force swap. Like a force swap with this enemy, I think is pretty reasonable. And I would rather do that. I guess it hardly even matters how I do it. Okay, what else do I need to do? I need to force swap you and you. That solves those two problems. And then we have to deal with the Hornet, and that's it. We are actually having a pretty soft turn here, so we could use this time to pick up some additional work. Like if we can find a way to get that thing killed or something like that. Which we absolutely can, right? I can control mech that thing onto a rock space. So yeah, I think from right here, I'm just gonna swap these two. Because I take 2 damage this way, but I also would take 2 damage if I moved and then swapped the digger here while I'm adjacent to it. I don't think it matters. Then you have to stop the Hornet somehow. Which you can do like this. So we get a double spawn block. The Hornet just breaks the shield. And then you can move to here and command this thing onto a rock so it dies. Because we really need it to die. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, actually. Bomb's at 1 HP, but that's fine. Only one of the HP actually matters. It still has the important one. Okay. Must you all do your shit from adjacent to... frustration. Okay. All we have to do is not lose this turn. How do I make that happen? So we can take 1 grid hit. This is a serious problem, but we have a lot of ways of dealing with it. So this would be a great turn for Bethany to have her boost. She does not at the moment. We can solve this problem with the control mech by just shield projecting on top of the digger. It's kind of an unorthodox play, but it does work. And then if we just force swap these two. Yeah. There you go. Sometimes you have to just remember that the Vec don't have to be regarded as enemies. They can also be regarded as effectively stationary objects because they are so stupid. Over like an infinite timeline, this would be a move that's actually very annoying because it makes the digger even harder to deal with. But in a situation where we only have to survive another 3 seconds, seems fine. Okay, and those are the coins we were looking for. So that's done it. We can now unlock the final squad. I do want to put up a an unfair victory with everybody, so we still have a couple of squads to go here. I'm going to be honest with you. That one never really felt like it was under control to me. We're going to be taking on the new squad now. I'm going to, I guess, grab Bigby, but I'm pretty sure we're not actually allowed to use any pilots for the secret squad. Let's take our 25 coins over here, and humanity's last hope are a blend of machine and Vec created to defend Earth. So yeah, they have their own sort of piloting deal going on here. So no achievements. There's nothing left to unlock. So what would we need coins for? We have here our Techno Beetle. Dashes across the map, doing damage, pushing the target tile. We can eventually get it to leave smoke behind the position where it charged from, and also to do 3 total damage. Frankly, just not all that good. The Techno Hornet, which throws needles at the enemy, pushing the furthest hit tile. We can increase the range and the damage twice, so in the end it does 3 damage to 3 tiles. Pretty tough to get there though. And the Techno Scarab, which is just the initial artillery unit. That's it. That's all it is. You might be saying, hey, these don't seem that good. You're correct. They're all cyborgs, so they require extra reactor power to use any non-cyborg weapon or passive, and these are the only cyborg-class weapons, so that's also a problem. And then on top of that, they color them like Alpha Vec by default, so that you can't tell the difference between your units and the enemy units. We're just going to change that up. Do we want to just go like Pink Vec? Or pink units? That look is still a little close to the enemies. What else might be good? Orange is good? Oh, this is pretty, yeah. This is a pretty cool color scheme. Yes, that will do just fine. All right, let's go ahead and give it a shot. We'll see. I don't necessarily think this team is going to be very easy to get a win with. So... this isn't so bad, I guess. The spiders are a little bit problematic. There's a lot of pushing on this team, though, so we can probably get bump damage to clear the spiders relatively easily. Oh, here we have a bunch of low health enemies. They have boost, but, like, who cares? Yeah, maybe we start here. Ooh, the disposal unit mission's usually fairly easy. Let's start with this one, even though it doesn't give us power. So we have, of course, leapers and garbage. There's only so much we can do about that, really. The Hornet has 4 movement and flying. It's going to have pretty easy access to stuff from a lot of places. And the Techno Scarab is definitely kind of an artillery unit. Yeah, we can start it like way back. Alright, well, a fire of the disposal unit right here is looking pretty solid. Oh, this isn't bad either. If I do it here, then we have 3 enemies that we have to find a way to stop. Yeah, I like that, and it does clear 1 mountain. So we can use you to... there we go, that's a kill. And now you don't actually have to do anything. And I guess what I will do is just attack a mountain. Maybe we end up taking one down without the disposal unit at some point. That's pretty clean. Also, somehow there's only 1 enemy still alive, which is wild. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to just clear these, right? I was kind of considering dropping the shot in a place where it would put acid over more enemies, or over more of the spawn points. But that doesn't actually feel necessary. Okay, well, y'all have really set yourselves up for disposal. So we may as well just do that, and also this, and also, yeah, you just kind of keep ending up in position not to be able to do anything. You know what you're going to do? You're going to shoot this mountain. Alright, well the enemies are not very good at this game, it seems like. Problem solved. So we should talk about the piloting thing with the cyborg Vec. They do effectively have a pilot. The slot can never be emptied. If the unit dies, the pilot just loses a level worth of XP, but they still have the ability to level up, and they can get, I believe, most of the normal level up skills. I imagine they can't get popular hero, probably, for a number of reasons. Knock mites off the Vex, protect the power generator. When you get acided, it does clear the mites, right? So this should be quite easy. That leaper, unfortunately, is far enough forward that we do not have a lot of say over where it's going to land. I guess I should have sequenced that. I should have had the beetle attack here first. Yeah, that would have been a pretty good idea. Do I want to reset for it? Is it worth resetting for? Yes, probably. I knew what the moves were, but I was not prepared to do them in the correct order. Alright, well, that clears all of our mites. Pretty solid. I hate this thing where regardless of the way the spawn behaviors work, also you just get additional spawns, like, because there aren't enough Vec, right? So if I shoot here, it actually doesn't stop this thing from hitting a building, because there's another, it's really annoying. How are we going to stop all of this? I guess the answer is we can have the leaper break the beetle. Yeah, that'll do just enough damage. So I just kill you. Leaper kills the beetle, then the scarab, then blocks the spawn, and then all we have to do is murder. Oh, this is bad because it... Okay, well... Whatever. I mean, totally spaced on that. It's really bad. But it does mean we have a relatively small number of enemies alive here, and so I think there's... Oh my god. I think that space is permanently blocked. I think that's how that works. Oh, you're not covered in acid yet somehow. What the hell? So we need to actually push you, and then same deal here, actually push you. And then we just have to deal with there being 6 enemies alive on the final turn because of spawns plus spawns. We're gonna lose some buildings here for sure. Alright, well, the good news is they doubled up on their building attacks in a lot of places. The bad news is we are losing both of these squares worth of buildings, and there's like actually nothing we can do about it. I don't think we can prevent either of them from going down. So we can... That's not true. We can save this one. But we wouldn't, because dealing with the Alpha Hornet's actually the only thing that matters. Yeah, so I think we have to do this. Actually, this sucks no matter how we do it. What I was thinking is that while I could have had the beetle just shoot here, pushing this leaper into that leaper and killing it. Obviously, that's really bad because it pushes this leaper into attacking that and also shoves this one into this building and leaves this this wasp in place, this hornet. So we end up taking like 5 total building damage and killing the bonus here. Like, we lose. But this isn't very good either, is it? In this one, we don't immediately... No, we do. We do immediately lose. Is there a way to make it so I don't take 5 damage here? Yeah, if I just kill the scarab... No, we have to move the hornet. I don't have to move the hornet. I have to move this thing. But I fucking can't. Oh no. Yeah, what I need to do is I need to shoot here. And there's no way to do that. Because if we could push the Alpha Leaper down, it could kill the hornet for us. The only way I can affect the hornet, given the way the board is actually shaped, is this shot, which still causes us to take 5 damage overall. Yep, okay, well that's not a very compelling start for me. Maybe you can tell I've done a fair bit of recording today, and my brain is a little fried. So you know what? Actually, I think maybe maybe we're not going to try again right now. I think what we're going to do is just call it here for today. That was just a little, you know what that was? It was giving you a little taste. Just building anticipation. That's how the Secret Squad works. That's how the the Vecno Squad handles. And when you come back next time tomorrow, I'm going to play an actual game with them. Obviously, like, that one was obviously just to show, you know, that couldn't have been the real play. I would never be that incredibly bad at the video game. When you come back next time tomorrow, yeah, we're taking this fight to the Vec with the Vec for real, and it's totally going to work. And we'll see you then.